For these last couple of examples, we want to write the equation of a hyperbola given certain information. So let's take a look. So on this first example, it tells us that we've got vertices at -10, 0 and 10, 0, and asymptotes are y equals plus or minus 5x. So let's start out with that first piece of information, that our vertices are -10, 0 and 10, 0. First of all, that tells us that our center, because you've gone left and right by a +10 and a -10, means our center must have been just at 0. And we knew that the y value for the center is also 0 because the vertices had a y value of 0. So our center is 0, 0. It also tells us that our major axis is the x-axis, because that's where our vertices are, is along the x-axis. So that means that x's need to come first in our equation. So that's why when we see our equation, we see an x squared first. And again, because the center is 0, 0, we don't see anything with the x's, and we don't see anything with the y's either. But the x has to come first because it's our major axis, and we should have a minus sign in the middle. Why? It's because it's a hyperbola, and it also needs to equal 1 if it's a hyperbola. Okay, well, if the vertices are at -10 and +10, that means the radius for the major axis, the A, is equal to 10. So what does that also mean? Well, it means, also let's use our fact that we've got a 5 out in front of here as our slope. Remember, that's going to be our rise over our run. Our 5 should be rise over run. So let's take a look at that. As if I say that 5 is rise over run. Well, by saying our A is 10, that's your x values. Well, x values are, less left and right, that's a run. So that means that A of 10 is actually your run, your A, your rise over run. So to figure out what your rise is going to be, that B, well, to figure out what that B is going to be, I need to solve for B by multiplying both sides by 10. So that's what we did here, is we multiplied both sides by 10. What that does is that moves the 10 from one side to the other and gives us that B equals 5 times 10, which is 50. So I've got my A and I've got my B now. My A was 10. Remember, the A squared is your major axis, goes underneath your X. And we just found B. That's going to go under your Y because it's your minor axis. Again, it has to get squared. 50 squared is 2,500. The A was 10. That's why when you square it, you get 100. And that's it. So we've got x squared over 100 minus y squared over 2,500 equals 1. That is our equation for our hyperbola. Let's look at problem B.